we're hearing a lot of talk about Colorado's new move over law, and we were curious whether it's just that, talk, or whether law enforcement is really going to dedicate the resources to enforcing the new move over law, which doesn't just apply to emergency vehicles anymore. So let's bring in Steve Steger on this. Obviously, this is a time in which we're hearing law enforcement talk about how they don't have resources to maybe enforce everything that they used to. So we're looking at a PR campaign, or are they going to dedicate the manpower to actually get this done?
They say they're going to dedicate the manpower, but a good way to look back would be to look at the old move over law when it was just emergency vehicles and stationary tow trucks on the side of the road. The State Patrol wrote about 5,000 tickets since 2018 for not moving over for them. It's about 1,000 each year. CSP Master Trooper Gary Cutler says, sure, the reason you're seeing all this coverage of the move over law now is education. They want you to think that you're going to get caught whenever you're coming up on a car on the side of the road now. But he says catching people in the wrong is not as hard as it seems. Cutler says often an extra trooper will be staged nearby and one trooper can radio to the other. Or in the past, he'll spot someone driving too close when he's walking back to his car at the end of a call. Pretty easy to pull someone over then. Cutler says that when the move over law got meatier all of those years ago, he did see people start to change their habits. But since the pandemic, it's like we've all forgotten how the rules of the road and how to drive. So this is a helpful refresher. He says if the law doesn't convince you to move over, maybe some of the stories he's witnessed from drivers on the side of the road will.
There's a lot of people that I've helped when they've been on the side of the road. And they're, especially when they've been there for a long time and traffic's very heavy, sometimes they're almost in tears because they're like, the cars are coming by so close and so fast, I thought I was going to get hit.
So reminder, the law now is you move over for anyone, even a stalled car on the side of the road. If you can't get over safely, slow down to at least 20 below the speed limit or whatever speed feels safe. Sometimes 20 below the speed limit is too fast. Cutler says this often works a lot like Simon Says. So you've got one driver who will decide to move over, then everyone behind that driver gets the same idea. So if all of this increased attention on this law gets just anyone to move over, chances are a lot more people will take that cue. Just because people follow people. He says truck drivers, semi-truck drivers are some of the best on the road because they always get over. And you'll see cars behind a semi.
Yep.
Oh, I better move over. Even if I'm going to be slow behind the semi, it's better to be over.
That herd mentality when you're driving, though, is definitely a thing. Because all of a sudden you realize you're the only person not doing something. You're like, oh, that's a choice. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Same thing with zipper merging. I always think about that too. Like
one day we're going to dedicate this entire show to zipper merging and why it would save all of us so much hassle.
It's so effective.
Amazing. Thank you, Steve.